So it's spooky season. So last week I did a book horror books recommendation. Right now I'm thinking about horror movies. Why not do kind of the same thing for horror movie? But this time around though, it's kind of my five favorite horror movies instead of, because last time it wasn't really my five favorite horror books, but mainly more horror books that you should read if you're new to horror or something like this. But this time around, as I said, I wanted to do something a bit different and try and just talk about my five all-time favorite horror movies. So it's not really a top five because they're not in any particular order. They're just me telling you these are my favorite horror movies. They're all number one in my mind. So yeah, there's not one. Well, yeah, there are some better than others, but they're not in any particular order. So let's jump into it. Let's start with my five favorite horror movies. So starting off this list, Evil Dead 2. I mean, the whole trilogy is really good. The originals, even the remakes are actually really really good. I've not watched the latest one, unfortunately, as of right now. I'm planning on watching that. Sorry, I'm so used to say reading. I'm planning on watching that movie in October though. I might do a review. Let me know if that's something that interests you. But yeah, I can't wait to watch the latest movie. I know it has a lot of good reviews actually. But yeah, why Evil Dead 2 though? This is my favorite movie out of the original trilogy. But at number 4 we have Suspiria. So don't watch the remake. The remake was okay. It wasn't great, but the original one is just so amazing. So it's witches, witchcraft, ballet dancing, uh, slasher movie at the same time, quote unquote slasher. It's really good. It still holds up today. The soundtrack is really amazing. Everything about this movie is just gorgeous. The colors of this movie are just something else. The ending of Suspiria is just quite something else. Suspiria is that good just because of the ending, just because of everything in the end. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it if you've never watched it. Go and watch it. It's one of the best movie out there, actually, best horror movie out there. Then we have The Exorcist. It was dubbed the scariest movie ever made. I kind of agree with this to a certain degree. If you're not scared of demons, it's not going to scare you. The scariest thing about The Exorcist is how the little girl kind of lost all power over herself, and that's going to be kind of a recurring theme with the other movies going on in this list, and it kind of already was the case for Evil Dead. At one point Ash is kind of being possessed. So just the concept of possession, you losing control of yourself, you kind of lose grasp of reality, and you kind of lose what makes you human, lose kind of control over your emotions, not only emotions but interactions with other people. That's kind of what's really scary about The Exorcist, and kind of the scariest thing for me. So that's mainly why these movies are favorite of mine, but they might not be for you because that might not really scare you. But that's what's scary for me, like losing this ability to interact in society essentially, and you no longer being yourself. That's kind of what's most scary for me actually. Then we have Alien. So Alien is a sci-fi horror story. It's really claustrophobic. So once the alien is out there, it gets really claustrophobic. So if you're a gamer, the only other time that I had that kind of feeling was playing Dead Space, the first game. Actually, it has that same feeling. It's just claustrophobic. It's always messing up with your expectation and anticipation of what's going to happen next, and it's always messing up with this. It still holds up today. It was made in, it came out in 79, but it still holds up today. The whole concept of, once again, you not being master of yourself, because essentially the whole parasite host kind of relationship within Alien is pretty scary, in the sense of, once again, you're just an incubator for aliens and you're nothing more than just that, and you no longer have control over your own body. That scene, that dinner scene, when the alien just bursts out, it's really scary for me, because once again, you're not the master of your own body. You're just this incubator to that parasite, actually, which is something that, once again, I really enjoy. It's kind of what scares me, essentially. Then we have The Thing. So The Thing, again, a sci-fi horror story. This one is not set in space. It's in Antarctica. It's mainly, if you've ever read H.P. Lovecraft, it's Mountains of Madness, essentially. That's its main inspiration, So in The Thing, we have this thing that just transform itself into humans. So once again, you're dead once when the thing take not control of yourself, but more the aspect of you. So it's kind of the same thing as, if you're familiar with body snatchers, it's kind of the same thing. So the alien is just taking your shape, essentially. But in the thing that's really cool about it is that this paranoia that everybody has, that who's human, who's the thing, is everybody just an alien? We don't know. And even the ending is opened, you don't really know if it's really the end or not. And it's something that I really enjoyed. And it's still, once again, it still holds up today because of just the puppets, like the thing itself is so insanely grotesque, but it works so much. It's just, it's really good. So if I had to pick like the best horror movie out there, it would be The Thing. So the scariest one would be The Exorcist, the director's cut, not the theatrical cut, but the director's cut, because there's 10 minutes of pure horror added to The Exorcist. But the best one would be The Thing, just because of everything it has in The Thing. The puppet, as I said, the thing itself, actually, when it's transforming, it's disgusting. It's very well done. It feels so disturbing. It's a disturbing movie, actually, and it still holds up today, once again. So as a bonus movie, I wanted to add a more recent movie with this list, so they're all like 70s or 80s movie, my top 5 favorite horror movies. So I wanted to add a more recent one, and it's one that's actually truly amazing. It's really great. So Hereditary, and once again with the whole concept of you no longer being the master of yourself. So the mother and the boy in Hereditary both loses mastery of themselves. The more you're into the story, the more they lose control of themselves. So the boy and the mother, and it's just, the ending of that movie is so gorgeous. It's a kind of a what the fuck movie, but once you dig more into the meanings of the movie, you kind of get a hold of what exactly is going on, and it's just one that's masterfully crafted. It's so good. It's really scary, actually. And once you see all the different things that you've kind of missed while watching it the first time, it's get scarier and scarier. The ending, everything that it entails, the end. It's just one of my favorite movie. It's my favorite movie that came out recently, actually. It's really good. There are some gore in this movie. Just this one scene is really gory, but that's it. Like, that's the only gore that you'll see in this movie is kind of this one scene, actually. Uh, so that was it for my horror movie recommendation, favorite movie, top 5 kind of list. It's hard to really say what this thing is actually. But thank you guys for watching. What are your favorite movies? Let me know in the comment down below, or maybe what are you going to watch during October? Maybe, at the same time, I'm kind of looking at recommendations. So if you have any, please let me know. I'm open to suggestion. Maybe I've already seen that movie, but maybe I'm due for a rewatch or something. So let me know in the comments down below. Feel free to hit that like button or the subscribe button also. There's still room for you if you want to join this community. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.